Hello Keystone family, welcome to week number 5, music lesson with Mr. Gerry. This week I'm going to introduce, as I said last week, a percussion lesson. Those of you for all ages, lower L, upper L, adolescents that have been taking drums and percussion class, let's review some things about the different percussion, hand percussion families that we should know about. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to turn the camera down, and you'll have to miss my handsome face so that you can see the drum. Now, when you have a drum, and a single drum, you can have two drums, but when you have a single drum, one of the things you want to work on is your hand coordination. So we're going to do patterns of 4, and the first thing we'll do is do 4 beats with the right hand, just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we trade off. We're going to do 3 beats with this hand and 1 beat over here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we do 2 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all the way to 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, rest. And one of the things we learn about drums and hand drums is you can get a lot of different tones. You can get a dead tone when you hit the head and you leave your hand flat over the drum head like this. Okay, so you get that sound. There's the open tone where you slap the head and immediately bring your hand up and you get that ringing tone. So there's a lot of other little tones like this. There's like the side tone where you do different sides and get a lot of different tones. It's a lot of fun. So you can practice those different hand coordination beats with those different patterns like that. Now, one of the things that we also do a lot in class, and this is something you can do with a brother, sister, or someone like that, is to learn how to count your groups of 4. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, rest. So that was 4 groups of 4. And the way we count is that we count 4 beats, but the first number is the group number. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you a little quiz out there, and you can guess how many groups of 4 beats that I'm going to play. We've done this before. And again, an example would be, this would be 2 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And I will always end on the 4th beat, so there's no question. Like if I ended on 1 of the next beat, is that the end of that, whatever. Okay, so are you ready? Here's the first one, and it goes like this. On a 1, 2, 3, 4. How many was that? Yes, you're right. That was 4. Okay, here's the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many groups was that? Did you guess 2? You are correct. Here's the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do you think that was? If you said 6, you are correct. So that's a nice little test, little group, little exercise that is really good when it comes to music, and that is counting your groups of 4 beats. I'll put this up when I'm talking. That way, when it comes to music, you'll find out that most music cycles in groups of 4. So there are a lot of songs that have an 8-beat pattern, some have a 12-beat pattern, some have a 4-beat pattern. But the idea is you have that pattern of 4 beats that's really important to count. Now I'm going to use both a tambourine stick and a regular tambourine in this next one to review what we do with the tambourine. Now most of the time in early classes, like in the lower classes, what I want you to do is remember that the tambourine has a handle for our hand and a blade, or the thin part, that we just hit into our other hand. And most of the times we're just doing a single beat, like you're doing beat 2 and 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so those are always good. And the key here is just to learn that spatial difference, so that 1, 2, you're actually hitting the beat, causing that sound on the beat, as opposed to like 1, 2, 3, 4, and being a little bit too late, or 1, 2, 3, 4, a little too early like that. You want to get that coordination of where the beat right is. Now, when we get into more advanced tambourine playing, what we want to do is learn how to shake it back and forth. So now we're counting like a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, which is a 16 beat. And we apply the same thing over here, but like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So we're accenting beats 2 and 4 with the rest of it. And what you want to note is that, like, if you looked at it this way, see, it's just going right back and forth. I'm not doing circles or up and down or whatever. It's just straight back and forth like that. Now, one of the reasons we don't use a full-size tambourine in class is that it's bigger and it's heavier, and a lot of you little guys, will find it a little bit too heavy to play. But the same thing with the tambourine. You would hit it with 1 beat, like that. Or, when you shake a tambourine now, you shake it back and forth this way. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and the rest. So, lots of fun things to do with tambourine. Sometimes there's accents where you can just like rattlesnake sounds. Okay, so those are the tambourine sounds. Now, the claves. Remember the old holding it like a hot dog bun and hitting it in the middle for the best sound? Or, you hold it at the end and you do the same thing like that. But I like this. I like to say, if you have goals, dreams, and aspirations of someday playing percussion on a cruise ship, not now, of course, because they're all quarantined, but I almost had a chance to do that. I told you that. But the idea is there are people who actually have a gig where they can play percussion instruments with these bands that play on cruise ships and go all the way around the world, and it's really cool. Okay, so there are 2 popular clave beats, and they're called the son clave, and it's the 2-3 and the 3-2. And basically it's the same rhythm, just kind of reversed around. So we're counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So the beats on that is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and those are the beats that the 3-2 son clave play, and the 2-3 is the opposite, like that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't play that one as often as you can tell. So the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 is the more common of those 2. So practice your clave beats. Next we have, who remembers what this guy's called? That's correct, Afuche Cabasa. And the Afuche Cabasa has a sound that's similar to the guiro. And what you do, again, is we curve our hand and the afuche fits in the curve, and with our wrist, we twist it like that. So the afuche cabasa also takes the main rhythm that the guiro takes, which is the out, in, out, in. So you have one long sound, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's your clave, not clave. That's your afuche and also the guiro beats. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. And last but certainly not least is actually the easiest ones of all, and those are the maracas. And maracas almost always just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 again, a 2 again, a 3 again, a 4 again, a 1 again, a 2 again, a 3 again, a 4, and just keep a nice sound, a blanket they call it, in the background. And the key with the claves, if I put my hand that way, you can see it's in your wrist. It's not your arm, it's your wrist. It's going back and forth, and you also want to go in a straight back and forth line like that. And of course you put the claves in front of you, and we learned that the claves never hit each other, nor do they hit your hand or whatever. Claves are always shaking in your hand. I have big hands, so I like to put both claves in one hand, but you can go like that. You just have to learn to get each hand synced together. So that is our percussion lesson for this week. So I hope you have an assortment of different percussion instruments. If not many of these instruments, which is really cool, you can make them yourselves. The guiro is just like if you just get a scratchy surface and a pencil or something, and you can go like that. Claves, basically any kind of wooden bar, you know. Tambourines, and you pretty much need a tambourine to get a tambourine sound. And drums, you can, you know, use your knees, your tummy, or, you know, whatever. Okay, so with that, have a great week, my percussion groups, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.